Get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the public street.
I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it over your head.
I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb.
There is a
You're
woman
a
here.
crumb creep cow. I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush cow.
You don't even know me, Mayor.
You are a lush
Guys, happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a good week. We had a good week here. The weather was amazing. We are just enjoying getting into the spring. If you are here for the very first time, this is a recovery chat, and it is for any stage of recovery. It is for anybody that is actively using and just needs some support, maybe to help them know that they're not alone out there, that they have help and they have people to support them. And it's also for those that are in recovery. Barb is in the house. Hey, Barb. It's for people that have gone through the treatment process and are just looking for formats to help them when they're not able to get to a meeting or what have you. And it's also for the families that love them, that have somebody that is struggling in their loved one's journey. We, as the family members, also take the journey different ways than that. But as the family members, our loved ones are our drug of choice. And we chase them as much as they chase their drugs. So it's important that we share with other families that are out there struggling what we've been through, so that they know that they have hope, they have support, and we can give them suggestions of how we got to where we are today. And it's for the families that have lost somebody, that need the support, and know that there are people out there that love them and are here for them, and to help them keep their loved ones' memories alive, because this is a disease that can unfortunately end in death. It's and as family members, we have to find our place where we're at, so that we're not loving them to death, so that we're helping them actually get a little bit further in their support for their loved one, without keeping them active and gearing them more towards the hope of recovery. So that's what we're here for. We do not take, accept, or have sponsors, or take monetary donations of any kind. Nobody pays us to be here. I changed my gears into helping the families after seeing so many people out there that got the help and support of different organizations, churches, neighborhoods, and seeing that the families were left behind without that additional support. I mean, there is support out there. There's the Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, adults of or children of addicts. There's just so many different forums for support, but not everybody likes to get to meetings. Nobody, a lot of people fear that this is a disease of, embarrassment on the family. They struggle with, I don't want to go to, hey Margie, they don't want to go to a meeting and see a neighbor or, somebody they may know, and then they'll know that somebody in the family is struggling with substance use. Well, that's where you're going to get your support. And, you know, with this disease, support is the most important thing that you, as the family member, friend, or loved one, needs. Because without the support, you just feel left behind, and you feel like people are judging you. And you know, our loved ones are already dealing with the stigma of, you know, the junkie, the loser, there's just so many derogatory names that come to mind when you're dealing with alcoholism or drug addiction. And being here where it's safe, where you can ask the questions, pardon me, you can ask the questions and hear the suggestions. So that's the important thing. And Barb says she hates meetings, and I get it. I know that, you know, meetings aren't for everybody. When I first started on my journey as a family member, walking into my first meeting was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, because the first meeting I went in alone. And it was an AA meeting. And because my loved one was doing drugs, not realizing alcohol was an issue as well, I couldn't connect with that forum, even though, you know, a substance is a substance. Then I tried the Nar-Anon, and, you know, Nar-Anon was difficult to get started with. It was difficult to listen to people tell me to throw my loved one out. And we've discussed this over and over again. But going to different meetings, different days, different times, different areas, you have choices. If you don't like one meeting, you can try another. If you don't like that forum, try a different forum. That's my thing. I really get a lot out of the Nar-Anon literature, their books. I get a lot out of that. I don't get a lot out of their meetings. I mean, if I sat down and just kept my mouth shut, I probably would get a lot more out. But when you're in the throes of this, when you have a loved one actively using in their life, you don't want to have to sit there and close your mouth and open your ears. You want to know, what can we do? How do we do it? You know, where do we turn? And Nar-Anon and Al-Anon are both meetings that are very structured. So they stick to kind of a scripted type meeting. And you're allowed to talk about your loved one before the meeting. You're allowed to talk about it after the meeting. But during the meeting, it's, you know, how do you take care of yourself, which we all need to learn to do. That is the most important thing, is learning how to take care of yourself and keeping yourself strong while your loved one is in the throes of their addiction. And, you know, going to meetings is the one place that you're going to find that help and that support. And I get my support from my family group through Living Room, because it is a crosstalk. You can, you know, go in and say, you know, I'm struggling with this, that, and the other thing with my loved one, and get the feedback and the suggestions from other people that in the group that may have gone through the same thing, or, you know of somebody else that has gone through it. So that feedback is amazing for me. And I do really like the fact that our group, you know, post COVID is getting much larger, and people are starting to come out and try to find the support and the education of addiction, because you come into this and you think that you know what addiction is, and you can just say stop, and it stops. But once you go in and you start getting educated and you start understanding it, that's when you realize that it's something that they have to come to terms with. Maybe 1 out of 50 may actually see that just stop might get you there. Very, very, very few. But most of the time it's a matter of them getting to where they need to be. And how do you get there? How does your loved one feel about your involvement? I really can't answer that. I guess they're okay with it. I don't know, son. How do you feel about our involvement in...
It's good. You're helping people.
Yeah, he says that it's good. He knows that we're helping people. And, I mean, even in can I say your journey a little bit?
I don't care.
I try to keep it to my loved ones, so nobody really, but he's open about it. And I know when he was in Florida and he was in his early recovery, he was out there helping people and, doing what he could do to give back, to help. And, when I realized that I couldn't help my son, I realized that, he had to do it on his own, and he ended up in Florida, and he ended up with an organization where the son and the mother really helped him out with that. He wasn't here for the holidays, so, he had somebody helping, and another mother also taking him under her wing. So that's when I thought, okay, if that's what she's doing for him, then why can't I find a place where I can help another mother's child, another father's child, another spouse? So I just really tried to see it. Like, I didn't understand all of this stuff, and going through the meetings and everything. And then I thought, let me go on to Facebook, because Facebook helps everybody. So I just typed in addiction. I typed in, heroin. I typed in alcohol. I typed in anything that would revolve around that. And I found a couple groups that I started following. And that's where I was like, okay, here's an organization that goes out to the streets and helps loved ones, kind of like my son was doing in Florida. So lo and behold, I talked to my husband and Pappy and I was like, I think I really want to get involved with this group, because they're doing great things out on the streets to help, those that are struggling with their addiction, and they're active. So that's what I did. And, it was really hard at first because I didn't know what to expect, and I did not think that I would be walking in and seeing what I was seeing down in Kensington. It was pretty harsh, and it's a real punch in the stomach, because you just think, oh my God, my loved one was down here, and that's what they were doing. And it was just so hard. I don't know if Pappy felt that way or not, but is that how you felt when you first started going out down there?
Oh, it was raw. It was raw, and it was an experience. It's much worse than you can gather from watching television or shows and all. It's the real deal, man. I always equated it to like walking into a third world country. I mean, I couldn't believe I was like in the United States, and people were living in these conditions day in and day out. I mean, round the clock. Open air drug market. I mean, and all the other shenanigans going on down there. It's just, yeah, it was a sobering experience, for lack of a better term. It was for real, and gave me a new perspective on addiction, that like nobody would choose to live in these conditions.
Yeah.
And these levels of danger and everything else. I mean, there's got to be a driving force to make you endure that type of lifestyle.
Yeah. And Margie says it humbles you going down there, and it does.
Sure does.
It really does. Barb says her stepdaughter is still out there after 7 years. You know, it's
Just to drive by is pretty creepy in itself, but to immerse yourself amongst them and to establish dialogue and start talking to them and learning their stories and what's going on and just talking about their day-to-day things, just to humanize them and to gain their trust.
yeah.
To the extent that should they decide to seek recovery, that they would trust you enough to maybe reach out to you. We didn't push it,
No.
but we just let them know we're there should you come to that decision. I mean, and it's weird, and a lot of them really appreciated talking to somebody, because people walk on the other side of the street, walk around them. I mean, they're frightening looking to look at. I mean, they really are, a lot of them.
And they tell you, like, greet them with a smile, because you know they haven't had anybody that looked at them with loving and caring eyes. They've looked at them with, you know, disgust and fear, because you know their appearance. You know, it's sad when they're out there and they're struggling and they're fighting for their next high. So you would just greet them with, you know, a smile. It started out real small in the beginning. As I look back at it, you got a bag of snacks that they were small enough that they can carry, just to get a conversation started. You know, hey, how you doing? Are you hungry? Hey, and you try to get that conversation started with them and build that rapport with them, and let them know that, you know, we care for them, we're out there, their families love them, to give them a call, let them know they're okay, and just try and be there for them, and you know, let them know if and when they're ready, there's a resource in the bag, and you can always call the organization we would go down with. And then the more we went out with them, the more mothers got involved. And what started out with, you know, just a snack bag and maybe a pair of socks or something, that would be what started it. And then it got to the point where it went from the snack bag to socks to underwear and maybe a fresh, you know, pants and a shirt. We didn't really have, in the beginning, we didn't really have a whole lot of stuff going out with us. But the more parents got involved, the more mothers got involved, I saw that, like, that wasn't enough. We have to get them more. So then, you know, sandwiches, and it was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You know, that's, you know, something that they can put in their hand and carry with. a bottle of water, just to get them to talk to you.
I kind of miss the peanut butter jelly. We make like 6 loaves of peanut butter jelly sandwiches on Saturday night to take out on a Sunday. Of
Yeah.
bananas.
And
Hey, just little snacky stuff. Just more than anything, it wasn't even to feed them. It was just to give them a little bit of comfort and just to gain their trust. They were tools we used to establish dialogue. Is really what it was. But then it just got over the top, and it exceeded that, and started moving right into enabling.
right. And now they're going out with carloads of, you have to tell them that we can't take all these clothes because we at least need to take the bags out and some water with us. And when we first started going out, the gratitude and they were just so grateful to have us there and to have somebody actually talk to them like we cared.
A lot of people look forward to talking to me like every week. And they'd ask me how my son was doing, and I'd say, great, he did that, and it's, oh man,
Hey, Christine.
wish them luck. I mean, they knew my story, I knew their story, and I would have to just get to talk to your kids, this week. Did you try and call them? Well, my phone, here's my phone here, you want to call them? I put them on the spot, like, well, and then sometimes they would, sometimes, well, I'm going to call them later from somewhere, but to let them know, I enjoyed it immensely. I really did. I used to look forward to going out.
Yeah.
I went out every week for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I really in the beginning really enjoyed it because you kind of see the same people all the time, and you can actually talk to them and see like the light in their eyes come on when they see somebody like, oh, I remember she's not judging me, she's here to talk to me, and it's just so the communication and everything is just, it was just so helpful to me. Like, okay, maybe I'm helping them take that next step. Are you ready today? No, I'm not ready yet. Okay, well, you know where I am. You know who to contact. There's the resources. So, I mean, this goes on for so long, but then as the drugs turned in from heroin to fentanyl, you started to see a change. The change started, and that was a difficult time. I'm getting into that March, so so I, the gratitude was disappearing. And it was like, don't you have any Nikes? Don't you have any, DKNY? See you later, Barb. Love you. You know where we are. But, and then it was just like, oh, I can't wear that shirt. It's got, Adidas on it. I like Nike. And I was just like, what happened? What happened to the gratitude? What happened to, oh, there's a stain on it. I don't care. It's, clean, and I want, I need something. So after a while, it started getting really, people were like pushing into the cars to get, what they saw and what they wanted out. The greed was so horrible at that point, and they weren't really nice. And then you started getting these people that, were just, oh, what's free, and it just changed the whole. As the fentanyl came in, everything started to change. It started to get a lot rougher and a lot more insecure. But then there was a turn where we started going under the bridges, which we didn't do in the beginning. So we started going under the bridges, and I started seeing girls that were pregnant going into tents to have sex, to get drugs, and that broke me. I was like, I can't. And so I stepped back and I said, you know what? I don't care. You keep going. I'll help you make the peanut butter sandwiches. I'll help you with whatever, but I can't do this anymore. I can't go out on the street anymore. So Pappy continued to go out, and I started focusing on living hopeful, actually, and started a support group on Facebook. And that's where it started for me, helping the families. And then it became for everybody. It didn't matter. People were, reaching out to me that were not family members, that they were struggling with trying to get into treatment. They were trying to stay sober after treatment, and family members that lost somebody would reach out to me, and family members. So, and that started 6 years ago. And then Pappy was still going out. And then I started a group through PROACT. They let me have a room, and I started the family group there. Didn't get, in the beginning we were getting a lot of people in, but then it started dwindling down because it is so difficult to get people into the support process. And even now, like we've been going to the meeting at Livengren for over 8 years, and still not a lot of people are coming. And it's just like, why are they not coming? Because there's guilt, there's shame, and it's just sad to see that people are not coming out for that. And then we are back now past COVID. Livengren just opened up the facility to have family members come and see their loved ones in person. They were doing the Facebook or the FaceTime meetings with the families. So now we're back to that, and it is nice because we are getting a bigger group. But the bigger group that's coming in may have been going through this 5, 6, 8 years, and they've never reached out for any support or any help as family members. And to see that is just so sad because there's so much help out there. And it's like, is this the first time you've come to a support group? Yes. And we hope that they come back. We do have a few people that do stick around and do stay. And we were just talking the other night with one of the members that said, I didn't want this to be my life. I didn't want to live this life. What do you mean you've been coming back to this meeting 5, 6, 8, 10 years? Like, that's not what I want to do for my life. And he said, but you know what? I keep coming back because he wants to help the next person. And, that's what this is about. Just keep giving back for what was given to you, whether you're, in recovery or whether you're a family member. Because this is a very difficult disease because it affects the entire family. I mean, every disease out there affects the whole family, and support is very important. And when you have somebody with cancer, the family wants to be there and support that person that has cancer. They want to be there to support that person that has a heart condition. And they want to go to the classes. They want to go to the support groups so that they know how to help them. But when there's so much destruction to the family from the loved one, whether it is, verbal abuse, physical abuse, financial, stealing, lying, it's really difficult for the family members after a certain point to say, I'm going to be here to support you. it is time for you to either stay here in the home or you need to go live the lifestyle you've grown used to. And that's where the difference comes in with the disease of addiction versus cancer, diabetes, heart. And
So I noticed if you could get people to attend a couple meetings, you stand a much greater chance of them staying because they start to understand what the meetings are doing, what they're for. Like Lori says, a lot of people go, this isn't my disease. I don't need the meetings. That's for them to do. And it's hard to get that point across. That once you become educated, you understand why your family members act the way they do, and that it's beyond their control. And it helps you to appreciate that it is a disease. It may start out as a choice, but it is a disease. And it's really hard to get them to come back for that couple meetings. I mean, especially since a lot of our new people, it's kind of like mandatory. They have to come to like one of our meetings or one of the other facilitators' meetings in order to qualify to come in the Live Grid and visit their loved ones. So they come for just that one meeting, you never see them again. You know, it's like, and they just sit there and tough it out. You can see they don't want to be there.
they don't want to talk.
They try to, they don't want to talk. They don't want to share. I mean, they're very short. I mean, they're just going through the motions to get that visitation day in. And I see that. Because, you know, most people, they think they understand addiction. But they, you know, they've been dealing with it for years. You know, they never really saw any help. I mean, their loved ones may have. But they never really sought any help to learn anything and all. I mean, that's their thing. So they never really understand addiction. I mean, they have their own conception of what it is, which it's usually very flawed. And I said it before, I was one of them people. I mean, I was very flawed in my views of addiction. I grew up in a whole family full of it, man. I mean, a whole family full of it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of resentment for it and all, you know. And I changed, and once I started to educate myself, things started making sense to me. It really did, because I really could understand why this happened. I mean, we don't have no horror stories to tell or anything of traumatic incidents that I'm aware of.
Right.
But it's not always the case. Why it's just something that happens.
I mean, you have loved ones that, you know, are putting money on their, you know, jail accounts because it's gotten to that point that their loved one's in jail, and you know, they struggle with, do I put money on the account? Don't I? Do I visit them? Don't I? In treatment, do I give them money? Do I bring them cigarettes? Do I do this, that, and the other thing? So, you know, it's really a difficult time to figure out what is right, what is wrong. Nothing's wrong. You know, you do what you need to do at that time. If you're
Do
not
what you can live with.
right, if you're not getting the support and the education and listen to the stories that others have been through, it's hard to make those decisions.
Like Margie says, you know, she learned a lot from us with boundaries with her loved one on she's putting in. That's the truth, because it goes against everything we've ever learned. Like, you're supposed to love your friends and family and do what you can within your means to help them in any way possible. But you got to have boundaries on that, because it's very easy to cross over into that realm of enabling. And it's, you might not even notice it at first. I mean, we bring it to light to a lot of people. They don't even realize they're enabling. They think they're helping.
Right.
I mean, and you got to watch. You don't want them to think you think they're stupid. You know, like, well, I only give them gift cards. Well, I don't know that every gift card could be turned into cash. You know, even if it's for Acme, March. You know, you go to check cash in place and you can turn them gift cards in for like
10%.
20 cents on a dollar or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a racket.
Yeah. And then
clothes. I mean, we tell people you can close, cut the labels off, cut the tag out or put an X on it or something, because they'll try and return anything you get them and turn it into cash, like anything that's brand new.
And the best thing you can do is go to the thrift store and just buy something, because they're not going to have it long. They're going
Right.
to
They
have
go
it
through
until
clothes, that they get
Yeah.
stolen, they get soiled. I mean, 'cause they don't know where to store all the stuff, but they hoard it and it stays on the ground.
Yeah.
It gets soaking wet and it gets ruined.
Yeah. I have so many here. I never went for support because always thought I don't have the problem. They do. It's through our phone number up there, our text line. And that's the truth. You know, people come in this is not my disease. Well, it's not a disease. This is their poor choices. And I'm not going to sit here every week sitting there listening to people. And this is where you come in, and depending on, how difficult things have gotten in your loved one's life.
And a lot of people, 10, 20 years, they've been dealing with this. They're worn out. They're done. We had a new person at the meeting this week that said they're just done. They just can't do it anymore.
Yes. And this particular person has gotten stronger. She still needs some work, but, this is not an easy thing, especially if they've been going through it for years.
'Cause you need that support, because you don't know if you're doing the right thing. You're not sure yourself.
Right.
I mean, you just want to help them, and we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I remember walking in there and well, I'm not going to be here every week, but you're going to tell me how to fix my loved one, and that's it for me. And you just gain that strength every week that you go. You gain that strength. And I know literally when this started, I may have missed one meeting in 6 months. And that one meeting was like a struggle to get to that next week. That's how much support and how much it helped me. And I hear that a lot in the group. You guys give us strength. You
And
guys.
it's really cool to see people's progress, how far they've come along, and how strong they've gotten, and how they've changed their view. It's really really cool to see them progress. I mean, when they come in,
It is.
it's all tears and crying, and they don't know what to do. They're throwing in the towel. I mean, it's really neat to see them and now helping other people.
Right.
The new people coming in, and see them stepping up to the plate and telling their story and how
Right.
they work. It's really cool. It's a great group. And all our groups really is good.
They are. And
And we got a couple groups we've been involved
Yeah.
with, and we're still in touch with all of them.
Yes. And this person says, thanks for your help and support. And I've seen her growth over the years that she's been coming. And somebody else in that loved one's life coming along as well, and seeing the growth and seeing the strength. But I also see the falling back into, the same pattern. And that's what's so nice about these meetings, when you slack off a little bit because the loved one may be doing better, or life gets in the way and you can't make those meetings, and you start stressing because maybe it's somebody that relapsed, maybe it's somebody that is doing well, but you can see the relapse is getting ready to start, and you're right back into that meeting, and it helps ground you again, knowing that there's really nothing you can do except take care of yourself while they're trying to struggle through that. And for anybody out there, and I don't know if it'll work, my suggestion is always, listen, this may be nothing, it's just me, but I'm seeing that maybe you're just having a really rough time, maybe reach out to somebody that has been helping you along the way to keep where you need to be. Because
And you got to be careful how you word it. You don't want to
Exactly.
be, accusing them of anything and say, it might be me, but you just don't see yourself lately. Mm-hmm. Is everything cool?
and keep everything to I, me, we, not you, and don't be pointing the finger, because that's just an accusation. That's just you pointing it out.
And Margie makes a great point. The stories are all similar, Margie. You're all right. And the characters change. I've often said sometimes it's like our loved ones all read from the same script. The stories are so eerily similar.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
It may be a different relationship, it may be a different substance, but really it all comes down
the stories,
to
their actions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they become so similar.
and their consequences, whether it's jail, whether it's, homelessness, whether it's, just
Like the lying
losing
and
friendships.
the stealing and the deception and
Yes.
the opinion that they're not hurting anyone but themselves, and they all feel like that. I said, I'm not hurting anybody but myself, but not realizing you're hurting everybody in your life.
And
You really are. The whole family gets
right.
drug into this, and it just tears everybody up.
Yeah. And the one thing with me is I feel blessed that I didn't have to go through all of that. There's so many people out there that have gone through the homelessness, the prison, the being beat up, and I don't know any of that. That's a story that he doesn't share. And that's fine. If he ever wants to share it, then share it. If you don't need to share it, don't share it. Like, I don't expect anything other than him to take care of himself. And I stay strong in this because I know that tomorrow could change for any reason.
We're just fortunate that he finally decided to take his recovery serious. I mean, it wasn't a one and done. It took a couple times. But, we don't have a 20-year story or 10-year story to talk about. I mean, he finally made the decision that it's in his best interest. He's got to change things around because he was losing everything. I mean, and he knew that. He's a smart guy. He had nice things and
I mean, that's addiction. That's what it is.
I mean, his love of music, that was pretty much almost non-existent. I mean, that's one thing you really notice, especially with a relapse. I mean, before it even happens, you'll see it approaching. I mean, if your loved ones start losing interest in things they really keep close to their heart, that they really enjoy. I mean, it could be anything. And if you notice they're not doing that, and all of a sudden, I mean,
Yeah, you get
that's
nervous.
it's a good warning sign. I mean,
And it's and I know that a lot of them will say relapse is just not working the program, and which it isn't. Like, literally, if you work the program, you can do very well in your recovery and can stay there. But when you start to walk away from that, that's when all of they call it the stinking thinking, where your mind starts to run away, and like life starts to happen on life's terms, and that can be a real major struggle. And
if they start making excuses for things, like suppose you go with your sister to the movies once a month. It's something you guys always did, and all of a sudden it's kind of excuses. You're not going to the movies at all. It's something as simple as that, and they got great excuses. I mean, they're masterful. I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of odd. It's like, is everything cool? I mean, just silly little things like that are definitely a sign. I mean, and unless you're looking for it, you're not even going to notice it.
right, and the most important thing for you to do, if you don't struggle with a substance use disorder, The
It could
best
be with anything. It could be with clinical depression. I mean, if you got somebody around that's really depressed, they're going to withdraw and do these same acts. I mean, they're going to stop doing things they really enjoy.
and that's the most important thing is reaching
isolate.
out. Reaching out. We lack to reach out. Our lives have gotten so busy and stressful that we stop hearing from somebody and we just think, oh, their life is just as hectic and
Right, and we're too afraid to overstep our bounds.
right.
Well,
But do that. You don't have to do anything more than, hey, listen, what are you up to? I haven't heard from you in a while. Everything cool? You know, how about we get together and have dinner?
Don't
And
just assume everything will just fix
Right.
itself and go away. I mean,
Right.
sometimes you got to go a little bit out of your way and just push a little bit. I mean, if they're that important in your lives, they're worth that little extra effort.
Yeah.
I mean, where you don't have to be over the top.
right.
But everybody's so quick, like Lori said, to say, well, you know, she's got a lot on her plate, or he's, you know, got a lot going on. His job's very demanding. You know, we tend to make excuses for it and talk ourselves out of
Right. And
taking it any farther.
what gets me is, you know, so many people are out there struggling. I gave my phone number out. I have, you know, I have talked to people. Listen, just call me if you're struggling. I'm not a doctor. This is life lessons. This is, you know, what I've been through, what I have learned, what I have the
Not like that guy in
courses.
Jenkintown pretending to be one. All over the news today.
The courses that I've taken, and just the stories that I've heard over the 8 years. You know, I can only offer my suggestions. I don't tell you what to do, how to do it, why to do it. I just give you the suggestions.
Give you suggestions, give you ideas, and clarify things for you.
Right.
So that you can make your own decisions based
Right.
on the knowledge that you have achieved, that we try.
Right. I
to
can
send
give
your
you
way.
3 different suggestions. You try the first one. If it doesn't work, try the second one. If it doesn't work, listen to somebody else's suggestion. But we have to remember that we have to be careful not to work harder than they're working. You know, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. And that's important. But let me get back to the phone call. I don't care. You know, I'm not too busy to pick up the phone and listen to you. And if I can't get to the phone, if I'm on the other line or if, you know, I'm exercise, whatever life is, leave a message. I will get right back to you. You know, I'm never too busy for anybody that is struggling with this because I know where you're at. I know what you're going through. And I know how difficult it
And
is.
sometimes when she's on the treadmill, she can't hear the phone ring. I can tell you that.
But that's what it's about. And, you know, I'm never too busy to help somebody just to get through a half an hour. Like, this is what it's about. And you're not interrupting anything that can't be. If I can't get to the phone right away, leave a message. You know, I might be busy well, I'm not changing diapers anymore, thank God.
No,
But,
I decided to stop wearing them.
But, you know, I could be in whatever. It doesn't matter. Leave a message. I will call you back. Leave a phone number. Well, you don't even have to do that anymore. I just hit redial.
It takes a lot of nerve to make that first call. Like, I don't want to bother that woman. I mean, you're not bothering us. What we do. I mean, you're not bothering us. I mean, we look forward to you calling and trying to help you. I mean, don't ever think you're inconveniencing Lori or I.
No. And it's funny because Marge, she's been on the show a couple times. She'll just out of the blue call me and, Lori, you're always asking people to call you. And,
That's the other Marge, not you, Margie.
Yeah.
We got 3 Margies.
That's Marge 1.
Yeah, we got a number, you guys.
Yeah, we have
got
3 Marges. but she'll call me and it's like, you're always helping somebody. What do
On
you
Biker
need?
March, Acme March, and Redhead March.
But she'll call out of the blue and it's like, I know that you're always helping somebody. What are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need help? Like, she's the one that will, because I am just like all of you. I won't pick up the phone. And, that's on me. That's on me. But that's what my meetings are for. My meetings get me through, my difficult moments. So, but no, do as I say, not as I do. But, it's people like Marge. There was Diane in the beginning. Hey, what are you doing? How you doing today? Like, that's what we need to do. That's what these support meetings are for. People will call and say, what are you up to? How are you feeling? Are you doing good today? And
then that camaraderie, it kind of helps a lot. You realize you're not alone. You got a support group behind you, just like those in active addiction. I mean, get a support group to help each other. I mean, it's really important. I mean, that's not saying that you're weak and can't do it alone, but why do that if you don't have to?
exactly.
It's rough. It's an emotional roller coaster. You blame yourself, constantly for your loved one's actions. Like, oh my God, something I did, something I said, that I not love them enough, that I love them too much. I mean, you just keep running these scenarios through your head, just blaming yourself.
Yeah, and you don't need to, because we're here. We're here. We're listening. We're always available. So don't hesitate to call, and don't think that she already left. But Barb, she came on here for the longest time. I really need help. I don't know what to do. I said, then call me. We'll get you into treatment. Okay, but not till next Friday, because I have this, that, or the other thing. And it just got to the point where, like, stop blowing smoke up our ass, Barb. I know you're waiting to get to Vegas before you step into recovery.
We waited till she was ready, and when she was ready, she didn't need to be done.
And, we call her out on her shit, and guess what? She did exactly what I thought she was going to do. And, she found her way. She doesn't like meetings, but she will pop in here. She'll call me if she needs to. She knows where I am. She does talk to a sponsor now. But she'll be the first one on here saying, I know, I was on her, Eric was on her, Larry was on, like, everybody, Fred was on her, like, step up. Here's our numbers. This is what we're here for. And it wasn't until she was ready. And, stop blowing smoke up my ass, because you're not going to go until after Vegas. So I know you want help and you think you want it
She wanted to
now.
get that family vacation out of the way.
Yep.
She knew it would be challenging.
Yep. And, and that's what it's about. And it's just being there for that person, for whoever it is. It doesn't really matter who it is. Support's the number one factor in, doing well in a recovery. And
it's really tough. I mean, like, she don't get a lot of support from home.
right.
I mean, she's got some now, but she didn't have before.
Well, she's got pats on the back, but it's a shame because she does struggle with the support system at home.
And and she watches her grandchildren and all that. Trust her to that. I mean, she's. I don't want to use the wrong word, but I mean they've gained more trust in her
Right.
and stuff, and that's a great sign in itself. And she loves that. She points that out all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
whereas
makes
at
her.
one time they were kind of afraid that the way
Yeah.
the kids were, because
Well, they wouldn't unless her husband was home with her, and
Right.
and then they didn't, then they didn't want the kids over there because of the drinking. But it's just, once you find it, it's just amazing how awesome things get. Especially for somebody that is really working the program and really connected to the program, because really it's a great feeling to have that support and that gratitude, and knowing that you're not alone, and that when you're ready to fall, somebody's there to catch you.
And I'm noticing a really big influx of alcohol.
It's
All of a sudden, probably within the last year. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Since COVID,
the
like-
majority of our people who are coming in are it's all
Or just-
alcohol related all of a sudden.
and it's not young
Pretty
kids.
predominantly.
They're 30s to 40s, and I swear it's a COVID thing, because we were so isolated for so long that that the social drinker started becoming more of a
Oh, yeah, you don't have to get up for work. I mean,
No.
you sit there, I'll have a glass of wine, I can play on my computer, put in a water glass.
you have your beer and your coffee mug, and you're having a meeting,
I
and
wish I could figure out how to work from home.
now
Can't drive a truck from the computer.
No.
Yeah.
And now you're back to work. Everybody's back to work, but so many companies closed down and went remote, and they're still working from home. And there's no, in between each phone call or whatever task, talking to the person next to you. Now you're just isolated, and now the cat can't talk to you, the dog can't talk to you, and you're just sitting there with a computer, a phone, and no,
I'm hanging around the water cooler.
right. And you lose that, and then it's bored drinking, just like being a truck driver and you're a smoker. It's smoke, 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 put it out, and you're driving like, oh, smoke, smoke, not realizing you just had one. Like, you're
I
just,
remember them days.
yeah, you're just bored, and except for CBers, you can talk on the CB, but
That's
still,
a big 10-4.
yeah, but still that personal connection. You have to have that personal connection. Working from home and not getting out. A lot of people are still in isolation because they got so used to it.
I can't take it sitting at home being isolated.
I can't. Nope. No. I don't.
It drives me nuts.
No. He'd be happy to work and sit at home and watch his phone. There's his addiction, is his phone. But, he gets up every day, he goes to work, and he has people that he talks to all day. He may take him an hour to get to one stop, but, he still, maybe it's not a happy conversation with the
It's like,
person.
come on, get your shit together. I gotta go home and get on my phone.
But there's so many people that have gotten so comfortable with being isolated that their social skills are lacking. They don't want to be out in the public, and anxiety from all the crap that this COVID caused. And still seeing so many people in masks, and
That still drives me nuts. I still see people drive around in cars by themselves with a mask on. Like, oh my goodness.
But it affects your mental health. Isolation is what causes a lot of relapse. You have to stay busy. You have to stay connected with something.
Yeah, that's why it's important. You got to sometimes contact your friends, bring them back out of their shell, because they will just isolate into themselves, and then the depression kicks in, and
Yeah.
then the woe is me, and the stinking thinking, and all them other phrases. One thing just leads another right down the path.
Yeah. And today I was watching reruns of, not reruns, but past shows I've missed on The Young and the Restless. And right now it's alcohol addiction, and it's just so unbelievable. Just listening, oh my God, the slogans
Hey,
going.
where's Larry tonight? Is he at that concert?
He's
tonight?
at a concert. We're not going to be hearing from Larry tonight because he is at a concert. So,
He follows Menudo all around the country.
yes,
Who knew they
Christine,
stole
good
tours?
night. Love you.
Hi, sweetie. Probably see you soon. I think we'll probably have some kind of function at Living Green coming up, right?
I hope so.
Some kind of event.
Yeah, I'm
it's good to
hoping
see
so.
ya.
Yes. It does seem like some events are popping up. As a matter of fact, I do want to plug this one. Give me 1 minute. Oh, low battery, great. And I don't know why, because I haven't
Because you're on
been,
your phone all the time.
no, I have not been on my phone all day today. I just need to get to her thing.
Just went dead on its own.
And where is she? Where is she? Where is she? But there are a couple things coming up right now. Where are you? We have 2 events that are coming up. One is
Dara.
DARA, which is an event. It is a resource event, and
Out of YMCA out in Montgomery County.
yes, and it is, where is her name?
Hosted by a good friend of this show and a good friend of ours, the lovely Judge Andrea Duffy.
Yes.
Super nice person. Very helpful to people trying to get their lives back together. And in addiction, she's very understanding and works with people as opposed to just incarcerating them right off the bat. She likes to give them a chance to make themselves well again.
Mm-hmm.
She's sponsoring. She runs DARA. What's the acronym for drug and
Okay, here it is.
rehabilitation?
It's Save the Date. It's Judge Andrea Duffy along with the North Penn YMCA invites you to Save the Date. It's a recovery forum at the Lansdale YMCA featuring David. Oh, I'm not even going to attempt that one. Drummer from the Hooters. Oh, we have a caller.
Maybe it's Miss Duffy.
No, it's not. Hello, caller.
It's a message.
It's a message. Hello.
Oh, is this Lori Parker?
Yes, it is.
You got the right number.
Okay. I was just calling to say that I love this. You are doing great.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you tuned in.
Why are you still talking on the thing and answering though?
Because we have a call-in line.
Oh, you know what? We paused it because Dash had to go potty.
Oh, well, you are live and on the show.
Okay. I love you so much. You're doing great.
I love you too. That would be my
Okay,
little...
bye.
Bye. I love you. Why is she crying? That is my little sister from California. She's visiting my mother tonight, who always tunes in. So, not sure how often, if she has ever seen the show at all, but that is hers. Thanks, Jodes. So it's David something. I will not pronounce that name. Drummer from the Hooters. Tuesday, May 14th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It is on my page, but I will be popping it up again just to make sure that you are,
Yeah, they got a lot of good resources and different
Yes.
rehabs.
there will be
Yeah,
free
different insurance
naloxone.
Yep, they'll be handing out Narcan, aka naloxone.
They will be having questions and answers for all attending.
Usually a lot of swag,
Yes.
calendars, and stress balls, and all
Yes.
kinds of cool swag.
And if I can get up there, I won't have a table, but I will be up there to, check out the resources and
Should be networking.
get some networking. Also coming up, we have Never Surrender Hope. has a event coming up as well, and it is a bingo night. And I love bingo. But they have that coming up, and their organization is one that goes out to the different neighborhoods to help those that are struggling and, just need help. And trying to pull that up. I know that that is coming up as well. And let me see where that is.
It'll be posted on the page. You get all the dates.
Yes, everything that okay, and here we go with, I didn't see this one. This is a newer one. Well, no, it's not. Let me make sure this is the right. So, May 13th, 2024, 5:30 to 7 p.m. The 8th Police District at 3100 Academy Road will be hosting a Join Us to Remember and Raise Awareness. There will be a free Narcan training. There will be different organizations out there as well. I'm assuming that it is going to...
The 8th District, that's right by the Northeast Philly Airport, for anybody that's not familiar with the area.
Bring a picture of your loved one. And if you are going to attend that, you have lost someone to the throes of addiction. They are asking for you to bring a picture as well, and they will be doing a butterfly release. To
I'm going to
just,
do a butter cake release. I'm going to have my own event.
but that's just to help, bring awareness for everything. I believe this one just,
And as the weather's
And it-
getting nicer, more events will start
yes,
coming to light.
Yes.
Livergreen usually has a couple events. I don't know what they're doing this year. I mean, I had to get the calendar.
uh-huh,
I think you have their Back to Livergreen Day.
Right.
And motorcycle event, ride, the recovery. I
so,
don't know what they're going to have this year.
right, Never Surrender Hope is having the bingo night, that is Friday, May 17th, 2024, from 7 p.m. until, I guess, it's over. That is going to be at St. Dominic's Hall. It is $40 a ticket. Not only do you get to play bingo, but it includes 10 bingo sheets, 1 dabber, door entry prize, chance, beer, wine, and soda is included in this. And I know this is a recovery show, and I know that this is for recovery. However, not everybody and every family suffers from the throes of addiction, so they want to be able to include the families that may have lost a loved one that
And to really be honest, when you're trying to raise money, a lot of people in early recovery have no money, really. So, in order to get more people to attend these events, they got to cross over and offer, alcohol sometimes. And it is like a double-edged sword.
it
But
is,
that's kind of why.
but unfortunately that's
It's really hard
issues.
to have an all sober event and make money. I mean, outside of our dances we have, I mean, that's specifically, for everybody that's in recovery pretty much. So that's a different story. But bingo, I mean, they're trying to raise money for a great cause. And I realize it's kind of weird. It sounds counterintuitive,
but if you
it is what it is.
Yeah, and if you are really early in recovery and cannot really be around that environment, then I suggest you stay
next year.
away.
I mean, when you're in early
There's
recovery.
other opportunities to help this cause with a basket, a gift card, a service. You can reach out. The flyer will be on my page. Bring your own bottle, bring your own snacks. T-shirts will be there, 50-50 raffle baskets. I can't say enough about this group. They are so amazing in the area of recovery and helping those that are lost to this disease. and it's really an awesome.
Now, there's a lot of groups out there if you want to check them out. I mean, I was involved with Angels in Motion for many years. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where I started doing my outreach out there. And I mean, you can look them up on Facebook. They're a great organization, great bunch of people.
Ezra's Hope is also having an event, and it's a comedy night. Come on.
And there's so many organizations we've done work with. I mean, David's New Day is another organization. Very nice people. I mean,
And
I DJ'd some of their runs. They used to have run. You know, there's a jogging or whatever, running competition there, trophies and all. Pretty big event.
So Ezra's Hope, they will have the comedy show. It's a sit-down comedy show. It is Saturday, June 22nd, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's Laughs for Recovery at the Raymore and Flanagan at 9 Cabot Boulevard, East Langhorne, PA. Tickets are $25. I will post that as well on my page. A great group of comics. We've been to their show as well. So, reach out. If you need the information, I can send it to you. I will post it on Living Hopeful, on the Living Hopeful Facebook page, Living Hopeful Lower Bucks County also. I will post there as well. But I did want to share that out to everybody. So if you're interested in giving and helping in any way, if you can't make these events again, you have the opportunity to share with them a basket of your favorite things, a gift card to help to put towards baskets, whatever can help them raise the money that's so desperately needed to help people get into treatment, help people to get on their feet once they come out of treatment, because a lot of families don't allow them to come back home, and for very good reasons. And they have to have rent, they have to do meetings, they have to learn how to live on life's terms. So early recovery is so important, and they need as much help as they can get. And it can be just as selfish as their use. So, really look at where we fit in to help them continue on their journey to just being better for themselves. Oh, Eric's finally in the house. He finally got up from his little nap.
He's probably doing calisthenics.
Yeah.
Watching his calisthenic tapes
Yes.
on his VCR.
And what a night to be late when Larry is absent tonight. But
There's Eric, another good friend of the show. We always love to have him out there.
Eric and I have known each other since at least 2017, I'm going to say, is when I started watching, 17 or 18. And we have never met in person, and that is sad, but he's a great support system out there. So if you want his number,
Somebody's got a lot of years under his belt of sobriety, and he's a wealth of knowledge.
he is, and he's a great support. He really, truly is. He helps me as much. I think I help him. I don't know. I must be doing something right because he keeps coming back. He's like a boomerang.
I had a boomerang once.
Yeah.
I didn't stop using it. I couldn't get rid of it. I kept trying to throw it away. And
Ba-dum-bum. Ba-dum-bum. But I'm hoping to get John Tansey back on the show because him and his son had come on one night and they really did a nice show with them. We have 15 minutes left. If you are struggling in any way and need to just get some sort of suggestion or anything, please feel free to give us a call in at 267-737-8031.
The number is on your screen, people.
Yes. And we are here.
If there's any topics you think you would like us to cover, feel free to either type them in or call it and discuss it with us. Mm-hmm. Don't be shy, people.
No,
We got that
please.
number is designated just for the show and for helping people. You can call during or after the show or anytime. That number is always good.
Yes.
I mean, that's a number that's designated just for helping people.
But we have 15 minutes left. If you don't feel like calling in, you can always pop it into the comments. And I do ask that if you are out there, you are new to the show, you like what you're seeing, just throw a like and subscribe. That way you can comment during the show and you can share it out to whoever. I just want to be able to help as many people as I can. If I helped one person tonight, that's awesome. If I helped 20, that's amazing. And I mean, that's what we're here for. The number on the screen is available 24/7. If I don't answer, I may be sleeping and not hear it, and we'll get back to you as soon as I wake up. Or if I'm busy, leave your name, leave your number, let me know what you need, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
And I want to thank my sister-in-law for sharing the bathroom habits out there in California tonight, live on the show. Was that your mother? She was talking about my mother-in-law?
That was Judy, and she is visiting my mother, our mother.
But somebody was indisposed at the number. I didn't hear who it was.
Oh, the dog. She had to take the dog out.
Oh.
They're visiting with the dog today, so she didn't know we were still live because my mom paused the show.
You're still talking.
What do you mean you're still talking? So, no, just, we're available on that number at any time. And if you're in a situation that you can't talk, you can always text that number as well. And I can text right back with you. Congratulations to Heather Ritter, whose family is growing from Ezra Hope. The baby is gorgeous. And who else just had I had a friend, Shannon, who just had a baby. God bless. And the baby's beautiful. So
We know her from me. She used to attend meetings. She had a family member who was struggling, and her and her grandmother would come to our meetings.
yeah. And I asked her to come to the show, but she went, I couldn't do that. I think people think there's like 5 million people sitting in front of us, but it's just us here in the room. We just talk into the microwave.
Yeah, hello, hello, microwave. How's my casserole coming along?
But we're always here. We're always listening. And if you have a topic that you want us to touch on, please don't hesitate. If we don't have the information on it, we will research it and have it on the show. We're always looking for different topics. This can get very redundant. And
If you haven't noticed.
yes. And redundancy is part of recovery because
We're always getting new listeners. Mm-hmm. And we gotta rehash things sometimes.
yes, and really sometimes we just need to be reminded.
That toaster got a lot to say about you. I don't want to go there, but he's a crumb bum.
Yeah, he's a crumb bum, all right. But yes, please feel free to send us topics because That's what I need. I need to keep it as fresh as I can. And if you have any information coming up on events in your area, we have several different states that watch the show. And
Really, no matter where you are, if you think it's something of interest, our viewers
would
may
like
be able to utilize. Feel free to, come on, say it or type it in. Or,
come in, say it, send me a text, and
Smoke
I will
signal.
post it on my page.
I would say smoke
as
signal,
well.
but not in my neighborhood. Too much smoke. I'd never be able to
Too
see
much
it.
smoke in this
Everybody
neighborhood.
around me, it's like they think we live at a campsite. Like, it's horrible.
But if you send it to text, I can post it on my pages. I can share it on the show. I want people to get out to these events, to get the resources that they need for their loved one, for themselves. You never know who might need it. You never know who.
You get cards. I mean, there's different insurance companies and rehabilitation centers, and there's just
Yes.
all kinds of information, and where you won't see them anywhere else. But these type of
Oh, no, Eric. No. Pappy deals with cockroaches. Absolutely not. No. What about generational addiction statistics, or about childhood trauma affecting our sobriety? I mean, that
I got childhood trauma, cockroaches. How's that? I grew up in the inner city, and
Philly.
I have a dislike, for lack
Yes.
of cockroaches. Not a big
Yes.
fan of them. I got funny stories about them too. I mean, this year, I mean, we took our Cub Scouts, not to change the subject, to this bug museum up the road, and they had this mock-up kitchen with plexiglass, and it's got a stove and it's loaded with cockroaches in there. You don't see them, and this one comes out and sprays some water on the plexiglass. When I tell you, thousands of these SOBs come out of everywhere, from cracks this big up the glass, licking the water. I thought they're gonna have to put the paddles on me.
Yep.
God, it was terrible.
And I
Some of
just
them got wings on them. They just,
Yeah, I want to say congratulations, Margie, for your loved ones. Sobriety for now. That's a good deal of time, and hopefully they stick with it, and hopefully they start to get and receive the gifts of sobriety. Because so many things come back in your life. You gain so much in sobriety. So hopefully that stays the same. Let's see. It is now 10:24 and nobody's popping. Well, Marge did. What about generational addiction statistics, or about childhood trauma affecting our sobriety? I mean, we do touch base on that. I don't.
kind of like a real personal level. People,
Right.
we get touched on it. In fact, people aren't going to want to share so much things like that. I mean, not that we're afraid to talk about it, but we don't force any of our viewers to be uncomfortable. But it's definitely, a cause of substance use disorder. I mean, childhood trauma, definitely. Like a cross diagnosis, it becomes a chemical and
And
a
just
mental type
and-
addiction.
it just. I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody tonight, and we also touched on this in our family group the other night. That you go out. I've been in this 8.5 years right now, and so many of the speakers that we have talked to or listened to, maybe 3 of them were affected by addiction because of rape or abuse or trauma in the household. But of those 8.5 years, you know, the stories we were hearing was, you know, my family comes from a 6-digit household. They, I was, you know, went to the best schools, best private schools, you know, and they just didn't feel right in their body. There's so many more of those stories we haven't heard.
Well, like your younger sister, not ever being told she was adopted till she was later in life and had her own family. I mean, I'm sure that had to be very, very traumatic for her.
He's messing with you. But I mean, we've touched base on that a lot, and I haven't really trained for mental illness, so I touch base on that, and that's something that I don't, you know, want to get wrong, because mental illness is very dangerous, and it's very scary.
Yeah, that's not really our corner.
Right. I cover the addiction part of it, and I always say that it's best for them to get out and seek the help of a therapist. And if a therapist is not helping them further, then they need to seek psychiatry, because
So many people are dual diagnosed. I mean, probably almost half have a dual diagnosis of, you know, mental health and a substance use disorder.
no, I'm sorry. My sister is like very humiliated by that phone call, because she didn't realize she was live.
Oh, we don't want to make her uncomfortable.
And she sounded like she was 5 years old, so she's very humiliated. I'm sorry,
And
Jodes,
it's
but
like-
you're fine.
And it's forever in the archives, so you can
Yes.
play it back all you want.
You're good, Jody. That's fine. Most people who suffer trauma attempt to self-medicate first off, which leads to an addiction to any number of substances, and that's true.
So true.
You know, there are a lot of people out there that suffer from, you know, abuse, whether it's from a family member, whether it's from a friend, whether it's from a stranger. They also suffer a great deal of abuse, whether it's verbal or physical abuse from either a boyfriend, of the family. You know, there's just so many trauma things that can trigger an addiction. And but like I said, in our case anyway, we don't go to meetings to hear those stories. We do hear speakers speak, and yeah, there's so many of them, but a lot of them are really into the anonymity, because they don't want to have to discuss that trauma. They don't
That's
want to bring
something
that
left
up.
for you and your therapist. Really.
Right. And I'm just not, you know, I discuss the things that I have been certified in, or the life lessons that I have been dealing with. So, you know, I really, it would be hard for me to discuss that, because I don't have those certifications on mental health.
Well, it's coming up on that time, and I have to isolate that phone call for the intro to the show next week, so we're going to use that as an intro.
Okay.
Your sister. So
Okay.
I think it's very engaging.
We'll use that
And
as our intro. Jodes, I love you. Don't mind him. He's just
we love
he's
you,
just
Jody.
being Pat.
We love you. Well, gang,
It's not 10:30, and with that being said, we will be back here next Friday, May 31st. We will not be live, and June 7th we will not be live. They're the only two dates that I know of coming up that we
so
will.
feel free to go out on them nights and enjoy yourselves.
So everybody have a great week. We are here. We are listening. Give us a call, 267-737-8031 if you need to talk.
Don't be shy.
We are here. And
I'm your guy.
we will help with any suggestions. Everybody have a great week. See
Yeah.
you.
And remember, recovery works if you work it.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody. Have a great week. Love yous.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
We ride